I'm pissed off. Okay, so first things first, just a little disclaimer. I made a video about American Airlines. Oh my gosh, I meant Southwest, not American Airlines. And I talked about how I was mad because I sat in between two people that were really annoying or whatever. That was just like a joke or whatever. It wasn't anything crazy. This, on the other hand, I'm actually upset about. This is ridiculous. So United, thanks for giving me the worst flight of my whole life. I went total like white boy, I'm gonna call your boss on them, and I made a whole list. Oh, you can't even see that. I made a whole list of things that went wrong on the flight there, and I'm gonna just read a couple of them off to you and kind of list some things off and just my experience with the United flight that I went on. It was absolutely ridiculous. So first off, I flew from Las Vegas to Chicago to Kentucky. My problem was at the Chicago O'Hare Airport. The initial flight from Las Vegas to Chicago was still not great, but the Chicago O'Hare Airport needs to work on their crap, man. I'm done with it. So let me read some stuff off to you guys. The first big problem that I encountered was that I had no idea where to go. All of my tickets didn't have any gates on them. They had literally nothing on them. I didn't have a seat, I didn't have anything. So I had to go to like different places to get all my stuff, because I would go and I would get my ticket and then it had nothing on it. So I would go and I would get my information from some person, and then I would go to that gate or whatever, and then they would be like, oh, the flight got switched. So I went to 3 different spots with nothing on my tickets, and I had to go and do that. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it gets so much worse. So there's this really big guy. He's about as big as I am, 6'4", but he's a lot beefier than me. He was very, very upset and angry. He was shouting F words and stuff, and there were kids on there. Why the F aren't we taking off? Blah, 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 blah. And he was sitting next to me yelling in my ear, and I'm just like, I'm gonna lose it. Because I can't stand when people are disgruntled next to me, because it makes me disgruntled. And so my disgruntledness, their disgruntledness makes me more disgruntled, and then I want to fight them. After we get up and we're about to leave the plane, he dropped an F-bomb. So I'm like, hey, knock that off. And he's like, what? I'm like, there are kids around. He's like, oh, sorry. And then he just kind of kept his head down the whole time. But before that was happening, this guy was like shouldering me and like throwing some little elbow jabs in there and stuff, and just yelling and screaming right in my ear. The employees did nothing to come over and take care of that. They just kind of like watched him and were looking at him. They could have offered this man some free snacks or something, but they just wanted to sit there and let him yell in my freaking ear. So a fight almost broke out on that plane, and yes, we did almost fight. We were sitting there looking deeply into each other's eyes for like 10 seconds, and then he backed down. So I was like, you know, I got it like that. You know what I'm saying? But but seriously, they did nothing. I'm at a loss of words. Like I don't understand. I don't understand. My flight was delayed for 5 hours. 5 hours, man. Actually, I think it might have been 6, but I wrote 5, so at the time it was definitely 5. The brakes were broken on the plane. So when we got on the plane, they were like, oh, just hang in there, guys. We're gonna fix the brakes real quick. And so they worked on the brakes for like, I think about an hour while we were sitting in the plane, and they were just working on the brakes. Instead of putting us in a new plane where the brakes worked, they were trying to fix broken brakes and fly us somewhere with broken brakes, man. I'm not trying to die today, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to die. So I was sitting in that plane like, please put us on a different plane, please. So after an hour of them working on the brakes and them saying, oh, just a little bit more time, just a little bit more time, nothing. We didn't even get offered any snacks or water or anything while we're sitting there waiting for an hour for them to fix the freaking brakes. So that was another big thing for me. Okay, so when they finally put us on the new flight, we got a gate change, and so we were waiting outside of the gate, waiting for our plane to get fixed, and they're finally like, yeah, so the plane's not gonna get fixed, so we're gonna send you to a new gate. So we get sent to a new gate or whatever, and it's all just irritating. We sat there for another hour just because we were waiting for the pilots and the flight attendants. It took an hour. It took all of us like 10 minutes to get to the other gate. It took the flight attendants and the pilots an hour to get from there to there. And there were like some disgruntled people, and they were asking like, what is up, blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking like, okay, maybe they're supposed to take this long because they gotta go through like checks and stuff to make sure they're okay. No, they were just taking a long time for no reason. No reason. They didn't have a reason. They were just taking a long time because they wanted to. It was I hated talking about it. This one irked me the most. So, when I finally land, after like thousands of bad experiences from United, and first of all, They should be doing the best they've ever done in their life right now because of that whole situation with the doctor, that Chinese doctor or whatever, when they dragged him off the plane. They got so much crap for that, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give him a chance, and then boom, I'm never flying it again. But my last point brings me to my last point. I get off the plane and I go over to that little conveyor belt that has the bags or whatever, and I'm trying to go get my bag, my guitar. Oh! Another thing, one more thing. They also refused to gate check my bags. I've never had that with an aircraft before. I always gate check my guitar. They refused. So I had to pay an extra $60 on top of checking my bags, an extra $60 because I had to check them at the gate. So thanks United for that. Anyways, I get off my flight and I go down there. I'm at the little conveyor belt thing. I'm the first one down there. I'm just waiting. 45 minutes later, my suitcase falls out, and then I have to wait for my guitar. Another 10 minutes, whatever. My guitar comes out and I go over and I go check it. I unzip it and I'm making sure everything's okay. I have my guitar in its case, and then I pack my clothes all around my guitar so that they don't get smashed. So I take out my guitar and I was checking it and make sure it was okay, and then I look on the bottom, there's a freaking huge crack on the bottom. Look on the side, there's a crack. Look on the other side, there's another crack. So my guitar got effed, man. That was an expensive guitar and I saved up to buy that, and it just got cracked all over. I was so upset at seeing that. I was just so bummed. And I wasn't even mad. I was just really upset. And so I went over to the United baggage service, and I went over to ask them if there's anything they could do, like give me a little voucher so I could, like, you know, pay for the cracks or something like that. And they said there was nothing they could do. They weren't going to cover it at all. So I didn't get anything from that flight. Like, they didn't compensate me at all for the flight. They didn't help me out with my guitar, even though it's their fault that it broke. Checked it and everything, man. And it's just a bummer. They didn't serve us any food or anything on that flight. We were there delayed for 6 hours. Give me some snacks, man. I mean, they did bring out like some little goldfish packs or whatever, you know, some small ones, but you know, 6 hours, I need some freaking food, you know what I'm saying? So long story short, F United, never flying United again. It's the worst, don't fly it. Delta, that's what's up. I'm back home at my house right now. I've been in California for like 3 weeks. Haven't dropped a video because I've been on vacation, took a little break, but I'm back. I'm swinging hard, trying to get back in this YouTube grind. So yeah, we're headed down to the beach right now. This is my last day in LA, so we're gonna go down to the beach. I'm gonna film a little video down there, a little cover, and yeah, that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck around, don't forget to like, dislike, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. F United!